So welcome back. In this lesson, we will be adding our grocery list class. So one more time, file, new, file, and corporate class of the type and a subject, and it is called grocery list class. Next, very similar to what we have done twice already, my .h file. In the .h, I've got a few properties. One of them is property, and that one is NS string name, or let's call it list name. Then I have another one. This one is actually a little different actually, because this one is the owner of my list, and for that I need to access my user class. So first thing, I'm gonna say import user class, and this one is of the type user class, and I'm going to call it list owner. So my grocery list objects, they have a name and they have another object of the type user class called list owner, and they have another one, and I'm going to type this myself all the way. So it's going to be non-atomic retain, and this one is actually NS mutable array, and this array is an array of item class objects, so I need to import that one. So import item class. So this is an array of item class, and we call it list items. So we got that one taken care of, and of course we have an initializer. Let's call it init with NS string. I'm gonna call it input name and items, and I'm gonna call that one NS mutable array of the type item class, and I'm gonna call it imp items. Let's bring it one line down so it's easier to see, and I'm gonna call it for user class, and that one is imp owner. Now, something I want to explain in here is you don't have to explicitly tell the compiler the type of the objects in your arrays. You could just simply say list items, and then the very first time that you actually add an object to your array, it would decide what kind of objects will go to your array. I personally like to do it this way, to explicitly tell the compiler what are the objects that are in my array. So I actually kind of recommend that for you as well. So let's say we got this in our .h, and now we obviously have to go to our .m and define our method, which is actually quite straightforward. So in here, list name of course becomes input name, list items becomes input items, and list owner becomes input owner. That's about that. Of course we return self. I forgot that for a second. So I'm gonna keep it like this. If you wanna type it up, or you can pause the video if you want, and then we're gonna move on to our next lesson.